My friends, my neighbors, welcome one and all to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Everyone, if you've been watching the news, everyone is talking about yesterday's historic arguments by our nation's highest judges. There were recriminations, references to stench. CNN was all over the story this morning with their top headline, "The Masked Singer Reveals Who's Behind the Skunk." Thank you, CNN, for your tireless reporting on a woman's right to choose to dress up like a giant rodent and sing "I'll Be Missing You." By the way, it was Faith Evans. She will be missed. We also heard from a slightly less trusted body, the Supreme Court. The justices heard oral arguments over a Mississippi abortion ban, and according to court watchers, the Supreme Court seems poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, come on, hold on, everybody. Everybody knows that famously, you can't read too much into oral arguments. So we don't know ultimately what's going to happen, other than we definitely know. Because, based on what we heard from the justices, it is looking rough for Roe, or as one legal expert put it, uh-oh. Now, Chief Justice John Roberts, who has been seen as a potential swing vote in this case and is desperate not to make the Supreme Court a purely partisan institution, is trying to find a way to justify Mississippi's 15-week ban without overturning precedent, which is 24 weeks.
And why would 15 weeks be an inappropriate line? So viability, it seems to me, doesn't have anything to do with choice. But if it really is an issue about choice, why is 15 weeks not enough time?
So it was 24, now maybe 15. Is Roberts Chief Justice or Chief Auctioneer? I hear 24 weeks, 24, 25, 15, 15, 15, gonna get 6, a 6. I hear 6 from Texas. Going once, going twice, sold to the glint in your boyfriend's eye. So Roberts seemed a little muddled about the timeline there. Clarence Thomas seemed confused about what they were talking about at all.
I understand we're talking about abortion here. But what is confusing is that if we were talking about the Second Amendment, I know exactly what we're talking about. If we're talking about the Fourth Amendment, I know what we're talking about because it's written, it's there. What specifically is the right here that we're talking about?
He knows it's his job to interpret the Constitution, right? I'd like to see Clarence Thomas in a lit class. If we're talking about Animal Farm, I understand we're talking about a bunch of animals on a farm, and that's all it can be about. There's no mention of the Russian Revolution. Now on to my favorite book about fire safety, Fahrenheit 451. One argument supporting Roe is that a woman's right to choose is directly linked to her access to economic opportunity. Justice Amy Coney Barrett believes that doesn't matter anymore thanks to what are called safe haven laws in all 50 states that allow mothers to renounce all parental responsibilities at birth.
Both Roe and Casey emphasized the burdens of parenting. And insofar as you and many of your amici focus on the ways in which the forced parenting, forced motherhood would hinder women's access to the workplace and to equal opportunities. It's also focused on the consequences of parenting and the obligations of motherhood that flow from pregnancy. Why don't the safe haven laws take care of that problem?
Amy Coney Barrett doesn't think a woman has to be a mother. She just thinks she has to give birth. It's all in her new pregnancy guide, What to Expect When You're Forced to Be Expecting. Barrett did concede. She did concede that mandatory pregnancy might be inconvenient, but she doesn't see that as a problem.
There is, without question, an infringement on bodily autonomy, which we have in other contexts like vaccines.
Now, I'm no doctor, but that seems like a false analogy. Vaccines are mandated because COVID is contagious. No one ever says, "Can you put a mask on your belly? I don't want to catch baby." Of course, the 3 liberal justices were not buying any of this, especially Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who pointed out that none of the basic issues have changed since the court's previous upholding of Roe, and that Mississippi's stated purpose for bringing this case now is because they wanted it in front of all these new Republican appointees. And given those facts, she asked this question.
Will this institution survive the stench?
It's a valid question, though that stench might just be Brett Kavanaugh's beer sweats, or shall we say, boof burps. Now, if the justices do overturn Roe, it will not be popular. Last month, an ABC News, Washington Post, Papa John's triple bacon pizza poll found that 60% support upholding Roe compared to only 27% who want to overturn it. That's more than 2 to 1. So, if it is this unpopular, why is everyone saying it's going to happen? Well, and I don't want to get too technical, but what's the word? Don't live in a democracy. 5 of the 9 justices were appointed by presidents who lost the popular vote. The last 3 confirmed by a Republican Senate who now represent 41 million fewer Americans than the Democrats. In fact, Republican senators haven't represented a majority of the U.S. population since 1996. A lot has changed since 1996. Back then, the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor went to Kevin Spacey, and the Best Director was Mel Gibson. And the Republicans have their nominees. Gibson Spacey 2024, still better than Ted Cruz. There you go. There you go. But in pandemic news, we're still talking about Omicron, though there's controversy about how you're supposed to say Omicron. Is it Omi or Oma? How do you say it?
Oh my.
Thank you, Ensign. Yesterday, we learned the first Omicron case on U.S. soil was found in California, which led the state's Secretary of Health and Human Services to claim Californians were proud to have identified the first Omicron case. Good for you, Golden State. You put that kind of positive spin on all your disasters. Greetings from California, home of extra crispy trees. Unfortunately, that's not the only case. Today, a second case of the Omicron variant was identified in Minnesota. But do not panic. It's just one person in America's heartland who recently traveled to New York City. Okay, fine, but maybe he was here on business, spent most of his time alone in his hotel, getting takeout, and staring pensively out the window at all the people he wasn't infecting right after he attended the 2021 anime convention at the Javits Center. Oh, no! Let's go to a reaction from the anime community.
Damn you! Why?
So, Omicron is here. It is here in the United States, but don't worry. President Biden has a plan he announced today. One thing is requiring travelers to wear masks on airplanes, public transportation, and trains. Oh, good. Trains. It's reassuring to know that the guy masturbating on the Q train is thinking about someone else. But the anti-vax community has their own plan to combat Omicron. Make up crazy crap. The newest batch of online stupid maintains that Omicron is a hoax, saying lefties will be fooled again. The rest of us need to stay strong. Their proof? If you scramble the letters of Omicron, you get the word moronic. Wow. Wow.
That's what they did?
That theory is incredibly Omicron. Okay, it is true if you rearrange the letters in Omicron, you can spell moronic, but that doesn't prove anything. If you rearrange the letters in coronavirus, you can spell corn savior. That doesn't mean I'm going to bow down and worship Orville Redenbacher. There's just as much crazy over in the UK, where the anti-vax cuckoos think the new variant is an evil plot to stop Christmas, because over there, conspiracy theorists have found the anagram no Crimbo in the Omicron variant name, and Crimbo is a British slang for Christmas. First of all, Britain, if that is your name, what kind of slang is Crimbo? It sounds like the celebrity couple name of Christ and a bimbo. It's wrong. Now, you may have noticed, smart, alert listeners may have noticed you cannot spell Crimbo without a B. There's no B in Omicron. So to get no Crimbo, British conspiracy folks use the full name of the variant, Omicron B11529. Even if you believe this stuff, you gotta see that's a stretch. Okay, we've got enough letters to spell Crimbo, but where do the numbers go? Blimey, they were stolen by Hillary Clinton. She's ruined Crimbo. We got a great show for you tonight. We've got Oscar winner Mahershala Ali And when we come back, I will show you this year's hottest holiday gift. Buy it.